Hello again, it's Joe and welcome to another episode of Cartel. I've not done an intro for because I don't like YouTube enough. Anyway, I thought I'd talk about Metazoo. You know, since we're on a roll of being sat in the car and talking about Metazoo, I thought I'd talk about Metazoo's Kickstarter. So, for those of you not in the know, or those of you slightly in the know, Metazoo launched via Kickstarter. So they had like test cards and stuff that went out before that, I believe. But like, whereas normally with a business idea, you would secure like a round of like funding or backers or whatever. Obviously with Kickstarter, Mike Waddell, the creator, has been out and he's concepted this card game and he was like, right, I need X amount of money to do it, put it on Kickstarter. It launched to a reasonable amount of backing. Like I say, I think it was like $28,000. I've not checked the number again, but suffice to say, there has been another Metazoo Kickstarter they've just backed like last week, and that got to £1 million or $1.5 million or whatever it is, more than that even. So yeah, the thing about the Metazoo Kickstarter stuff is, because the original Kickstarter was to do with TCG cards, so it was like booster boxes and stuff, those products are super limited, and now that Metazoo is a bigger game than it was when it launched on Kickstarter, and more people have adapted it and it seems to be growing in popularity a lot, the original Kickstarter stuff is very small and very limited in quantity and therefore very desirable. It's kind of annoying really, because Pokemon has like first edition, and it has like, so you get the little stamps on Pokemon with the first edition, and then you've got like regular print, and then you've got like fourth print and unlimited, you name it, there's loads of different prints, but really the one that everybody wants is the first edition set. Annoyingly, Kickstarter, the Kickstarter versions of Metazoo is what everybody's essentially going to want. So now, prices for Kickstarter, if you're talking a Hollow Mothman, which is like the chase card of the set, if you were talking about Hollow Kickstarter Mothman, you may be talking like thousands of dollars. Whereas, I don't know, I can't tell you an exact price. I've not done the research because it's unattainable for me. I don't want to, do you know what I mean? I'd rather have 100 regular cards than one Kickstarter card. But yeah, a regular first edition Mothman is about $450. A second edition Mothman, which is coming out the CN2 boxes, the Crypto Nation 2 boxes, you're talking like, currently I think it's about $70 on the American market. It's about £45 in England. A regular Mothman, you're probably talking like £400 in England or something like that. Although obviously arbitrage, there's market to like skew it because more availability in America. But anyway, that Kickstarter set has essentially kind of robbed a lot of people of being able to have like the best version of everything, because like at the moment, first edition packs of Crypto Nation that you can go and buy from a box that is £700 currently for a booster box of 36 with a box topper. Those packs are about £30 each on the market, which is a lot. For a game that's only been out for a year, that's a lot, but there's a really small print number. I think it was like 50,000 first edition boxes or something, which when you think about the grand scheme of things, with all the people that live in the world, billions of people, if only 1% of those people end up interested in Metazoo, that's still a couple of million, and those millions of people, there's only over 50,000 of them are ever going to be able to touch or hold a box, and and that doesn't account for all the people that have cracked them already and opened them, so really I get it. I understand why the first edition boxes are going up in value, but by the same token, there's only double the amount of print run for the second edition box. So CN2, Crypto Nation 2, there's only twice as many. I think it was like 100,000 those have been released, or maybe less. So really, both those items are rare in comparison to most other things. IPs like Pokemon, Pokemon was massive. Like when the trading card launched in England, it was already an anime series in Japan. It already had a release in Japan, as far as I know. There's just a lot of things, So yeah, it's an interesting one with Crypto Nation 2 and the Metazoo Kickstarter stuff. The Kickstarter stuff for your average person who just wants to invest in like a card game or buy cards or collect cards, Kickstarter is essentially unattainable. You're talking like maybe £300-400 a packet. the booster boxes of first edition Kickstarter Crypto Nation are like $12,000, like £10,000 at the moment. It's just not practical. It's not probable. You know, you might get a booster for maybe like $300 or $400 on the American like second-hand marketplace of the Kickstarter stuff, but you're not going to be able to, you know, very few people are going to be able to go out there and pick up a Crypto Nation Kickstarter box. So within Metazoo, it is synonymous that the original Kickstarter stuff, because it was a very limited print run, it is expensive and it is the most sought after version of Crypto Nation. However, there is now another Kickstarter that's just launched, which is for playing cards, and I think I mentioned in the last video, you know, Ace, Jack, Queen, King, you know, an actual set of 52 cards of playing cards, rather than trading cards. But it's Metazoo and it's on Kickstarter, and I understand lots of people are like, well, why does Mike Waddell want to launch on Kickstarter again? And it's, well, because there was the hype, because it means that your products get funded without you putting any initial capital out. It makes like a ton of sense to put that all on Kickstarter, like absolutely does. And it allows people to buy into different tiers and purchase different rewards and you name it. And also, like, who was to even say that Kickstarter trading cards, USPCC, United States Playing Card Company, those cards are not trading cards, so who's to say that we were definitely going to want them? It makes so much sense that happened. However, the thing that's happened, and I'm guilty of this because I've bought into it to the tune of like £550 right now, is that this Kickstarter's launched. I was there, it's 2 o'clock in the morning when it launched in England, so I was there at 2 o'clock in the morning on my laptop. My friend Warren, who I mentioned before, Warren was up at 2 o'clock in the morning, but he's like a real human being that gets up at like 8 a.m. and goes and walks his dog and like goes to work and stuff, so he must have been dying the next day. So this Kickstarter launched, and straight away there was a choice, and I was like, there was all these different tiers. There was like there's three different like sets of playing cards. It was like buy one of each or blah blah blah, and then the lower tiers that was interesting was the Archcaster tier, which I ended up going for, which was like £450, and it was, you get a 1 of 1,000 numbered possibly card that says that you backed the Kickstarter to a certain level, and it gives you 10 of each set of cards, so 30 cards total, and then you get 5 booster boxes of exclusive promo cards that come along with being a Kickstarter backer. So there will be 5 boxes of 10, so 50 boosters total of this like miniature set of trading cards that are all hollow, that have the artwork from the playing cards as trading cards. So straight away, there's 2 things that jump out to me there, and it's the fact that I'm getting an exclusive promo that I really, really want. Do you know what I mean? Like, this promo is, I mean, really, I should have gone for the tier higher, which was like 25 of each deck of cards and 10 of these promo boxes. But you also got 1 of 250 like promo card, which would have been obviously like amazing. The difference was like, it was like 400-ish pounds, then it was like 800 and something, and I was like, at the time there wasn't time, you know what I mean? Like, you logged on and straight away I bought within the first like 6 minutes or something. I read through some of the Kickstarter stuff and the bottom tier had gone. You know, people just went on and went straight down to the bottom and they bought the highest tier. And it makes total sense, and I wish I kind of had done it now, but at the time I was like, I'm just buying playing cards. But also, I know that because Kickstarter and Metazoo are synonymous with, you know, the Kickstarter and Metazoo stuff is synonymous with being expensive, I was like, I'm 100% sure that the £500 that I've spent with postage and optional extras and stuff is going to net me back way more than that, or at least I'm going to be able to sell off packets of cards and whatever that I got from it whilst retaining my special promo and, you know, a set of these hollow exclusive cards and maybe even a box of them, you know, you name it. I'll have sealed packets of cards, I'll have an open packet of cards, and yeah, it just seemed like it made a lot of financial sense. You know, Warren felt the same. Warren did the same as me. We both got in on this tier together. And yeah, like that, it's a weird one. Like, I saw the next day that people who aren't as like overly committed to trading cards and releases and special drops and stuff being like, oh my god, no way, like I totally missed out on this. And it was like, yeah, that sucks, dude. Like, come on, like, it's all people in the community were talking about, like, for the week up until the drop. Like, everybody knew this was going to happen. You had your chance, like, and again, like, there's already this FOMO, like, oh my god, I've missed out. Hopefully I can buy these when people release it out straight out the gate, which is great. They've announced, so you could also buy like uncut sheets of the playing cards, which I bought, and then you could also log in again the next day as an additional reward tier, and you can buy an uncut sheet of the promo cards that come along, the actual trading card promos that come along with it. And I was like, deal. You know, I mean, what's an extra 45 quid at this point? That is amazing. And all these cards have got the Kickstarter logo on them, which implies that there's going to be another release of these cards that aren't Kickstarter backed. So again, it's this like artificial scarcity, but not artificial scarcity, because technically I guess it is a little bit scarce. And then on top of that, with your 52 cards, you get one card additional that is going to be holographic. So essentially creating booster boxes out of these card packs, because you've got a 1 in 52 chance of getting a red ink or whatever it, you know, whatever exclusive card it is in each set from the Cryptid Nation, Nightfall and Wilderness playing card packs. You can open that up and you've got a chance to get this rare card. And obviously, if that's one of their if it's a very sought after card, like a character red ink's very sought after because it's an expensive box stopper from Cryptid Nation, like if that's the case, then you could probably get that graded by PSA and it'd be worth a fortune. So there's just more opportunities for like collector investors like me and stuff to be like, oh my god, yeah. And you know, for me, if I can sell the opened packets of cards, like the 52 cards without the holographic or whatever, or with the holographic opened and it's not the big expensive one, for £30 each or something, and I can sell those, or whatever it would cost equivalent to make me my £500 back with all the postage, I'd totally do that. You know, and if it's a case of keeping hold of these for a little while and these trading cards being worth even more money because there's this holographic playing card holograph one, and amazing, you know, and it's obvious that Mike, who is the guy who's created the game, really understands like that collector's mentality of like scarcity and wanting to invest in stuff, and you know, that attainability thing. There's only one thing that I will say about Metazoo that I've noticed so far, and that is that there seems to be an awful lot of promos. You know, there's promos for this, there's so many promos for these things, it's crazy. It's getting to the point now where like I am struggling to keep up. There's like certain releases, like there's been a crossover between Dimac record label and Metazoo, where they produce like t-shirts, and with the t-shirt you possibly got a Kickstarter booster or a regular booster, or you possibly got like a promo, and there's all these like promos that have come out with the t-shirts and stuff. And I mean, to be fair, that was, I think that launched just before I got into Metazoo anyway, but that's something that I'm just having to like let that go. I'm not interested in the Dimac stuff, and that's to one side. And there was also another set of t-shirts that came from another distributor that wasn't Dimac, I believe, Dibrook or something like that. I've just let that go as well. Blind buying t-shirts is not my kind of thing. However, again, with it being, you know, blind buying stuff and it being like a lottery chance of you getting certain items, it creates this need for people to collect and scarcity and you name it. So it's half and half really. So I just wanted to weigh in on the latest Kickstarter for Metazoo. Like I said, I think it's a really great investment, and also like I'm really excited to get the actual things. What excites me the most is my Archcaster promo, my 1 of 1,000 promo card, and obviously the promo set. I do feel like I'm just going to be lumbered with a load of trading cards that I'll then have to try and sell on to try and make my £500 back, but that's fine, you know. And the uncut sheets is really cool as well. So yeah, hopefully it's provided a little bit of insight about why the Metazoo Kickstarter that is, I think it's on currently at the moment still, I think you still back it for another like 3 weeks, why I think it's a good investment, you know, why I think it's an interesting like business move in terms of like getting capital into business. And I dare say that with the, you know, because it's this artificial scarcity, or people have like synonymously linked stuff on Kickstarter with being expensive, that there would definitely be another Kickstarter from Metazoo. Like there'll be another line of products or another range of something that comes out in like a year or so, or maybe even 6 months from now, and there'll be another Kickstarter. And you know what? I'll back it. I will back it. So yeah.